Well, hello. This video is a little different. It's more about a conversational piece and maybe a follow up video. We're going to talk about gaming and what went wrong in 2023. So, check out this really cool intro. Now, I don't really have any cut through things or articles to show you or let you know about, but I'm noticing this a lot more as I browse through the internet, as one does, as one does. But I there's an interesting thing that's happening here, and if you've been into gaming like I have for a very long time, there are some times and some decades where you can remember distinctly, and you can almost recall the times in your head of when gaming was fun. I remember when Xbox first came out, having LAN parties, everyone playing Halo. It was fun. Like your friends would come over, you'd play couch co-op on Halo, and it was like, man, this is what gaming is going to be. This is nuts, right? There's always been some bombs in gaming throughout the history of gaming, and that's probably another video we can do. Like you have Atari with like E.T.'s, widely known as one of the worst games ever made, but it's also a cult classic, right? Well, I was thinking, like, 2023 hasn't really had any like bangers of a video game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, and this is something that while I know that a majority of you don't subscribe to the channel, you should, because it's free and you want to be sexy, and you want to be part of the Headband Club, and I don't blame you. Like, I can't blame you on that. So if you don't, tap a thumbs up, a thumbs down, put your comments below, subscribe, like, follow, share, and dance. But always stay sexy. Subscribe. Shameless plug. Totally fine with it. I haven't really had a banger of a game come out in 2023 where I have said, you know what? That is a game that I'm happy I bought. And I think where the problem is games just aren't fun anymore. So I want to know from you, what do you think it is that's tanking these games, right? Like, is it the fact that they're just like nickel and diming you for everything now, and you have to like pre-order shit to get levels, and you play a free game or an MMO or an MMORPG or like some kind of solo game, but then that solo game, I'll give you an example of a game that like I had every intention in playing and had every intention of like going the long haul on this, and that was Square Enix's The Avengers. First came out, I was like, this is gonna be rad. And then you read the drama behind that on how it was never really developed for multiplayer, and that's why a lot of the runs were like you had to do on your own because it was single player maps, and it became this like shit show. But then they said, hey, you could buy this, and then you had the whole debacle where you couldn't be Spider-Man unless you had it on PlayStation. But it was like, why? Like, no one understood that exclusivity, because it's like typically those exclusivities have like a date frame in them. So like the first year it comes out, you can't play Spider-Man unless you don't get to play Spider-Man unless you're on PlayStation fucking whatever. So it's that kind of shit that I think has really started to tank the fucking games. And you'll see comments all over. There's whether or not there's the video games got into politics, they posted something people don't like. you had a big thing with like Hogwarts, and that backfired, and it became one of the biggest selling games in February. Then you had, I think a lot of this kind of goes on, like, how does Call of Duty work, right? In Call of Duty, they made an update, and if you played, I forget which Call of Duty is. I just started playing the new one. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think they made some great changes. I think they got some more they got to do. But you have like so many goddamn microtransactions in video games that I believe that it just feels like, if you guys have never seen Mythic Quest on Apple Plus, you should check that shit out. Mythic Quest, I think, as the series progresses, kind of explains it, but I digress, and so let's come back. Microtransactions, I think, have a big thing to do with killing video games. I think that if you pay the price of $65 to $75, which, by the way, is complete bullshit, that I could buy a game on Xbox for $65 and that same game on PlayStation 5 is fucking like $70 instead of the same price. And I guess that's because you get the extra like feelings on your whatever. Anyways, I personally feel like the video games from AAA, what has happened more often than not in 2023 is these AAA titles, quote unquote, and I use that very, very lightly. AAA titles have been utilizing pre-orders and access to beta for all of us to fucking pay for that, so we can be free game testers and tell them how their game needs to be fixed before it, quote unquote, launches. And I think that is the biggest problem, is that we are constantly getting games that are just outright bullshit garbage, and no one wants to play. If you remember when Among Us came out, that fucking game blew everything out of the fucking water. Wasn't a AAA title. It was just a group of people that love video games that wanted to try this shit out, and they did it. And there's a recent game now that I play, Marvel Snap. I play that religiously. I love it. I think it's fun to play. It's a great, just sit back and play and watch. But I also remember when Marvel Snap came out, like, the card acquisition process you had, if you played Marvel Snap in the very beginning, fuck, you were getting fucking cards like left and right. Now, okay, now you don't get them. They have secret keys. It's like, at some point, and I get everyone needs to make money. I understand that. That's why you get into business. But you also have to be true to the fact that the gamers and the people that enjoy playing your games, you want them to come back, right? You don't want them to be like a one and done. So you got to give them a lot for what they're getting. And I think if you look at board games for comparison, if you buy a board game, it's $100. Like, I have Hero Quest. I just looked over at my board. I have Hero Quest. Hero Quest is a fantastic fucking game. I paid a lot of money for it, and I can buy expansions if I want it. But for the price that I paid for it, I have endless amounts of fun just at the base model that I bought, which got me to buy the expansions and still gets me to buy expansions. You see what I'm saying? So that's enough of my bullshit talk. I know there are probably going to be problems with this video. I don't really have anything to kind of like show you, because I think you can kind of go over that. But I was reading this and I was like, you know what? People need to hear what I think because I'm important. I didn't think that. But I am interested to hear what you think below. So make sure that you're going to put your thoughts and comments below and let me know what you honestly think has gone wrong with video games. I really want to know. Would love to have a follow-up video to this, and fuck it, even if I find someone that's got some good ideas, let's throw them up on the fucking channel. Get them in for some healthy debates. I'll get you set up. We'll do a recording. Make sure you like it. I'll post that shit. But yeah, I want you to come on. Like, let's have this conversation. Let's do something. So make sure you put all that below. Most importantly, you got to make sure you subscribe. You got to put thumbs up, thumbs down, healthy discourse as always. I appreciate all of you, even the ones that aren't subscribed to this video. I appreciate you coming and giving me the view. But as always, stay sexy, subscribe. And until you're blessed with my presence next time, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, I really don't fucking care either because it's a video and I wanted to make it. So, yeah, stay rad.